history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Dry. Nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey, when it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of will continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Hey, remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah. St. Cry produce the band Midnight, and them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring, and now him three son them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI, one of the greatest, and the world can see why, yeah. If you ever ask me where I'm from, born in the Virgin Island, and the whole place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. The Virgin Islands nice, so nice, so nice. Rock City sweet and nice, so nice, so nice. Twin City full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. Love City a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side.
Talking about a land of beauty, we call it paradise. We want you come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We are a share of problems, we know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them. We want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at our sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, bet you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest will satisfy.
Computer, for live streaming, or your nearest radio. It's now time to listen to Connecting the Dots.
People come, let we go. Turn up the radio. Turn it up. This is the people show. No matter where we go. This is the people show. No matter where we
Good morning. I say good morning to everyone. This is Adela Fonsi Danistog here at live on WSTA. Connect the dots every Monday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. Just want to say a good morning to each and every one of you. It's a bright day here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and it's always good to be in the Virgin Islands. But of course, we're always trying to connect with those that are living abroad, because after all, you're a Virgin Islander. Virgin Islander, here, there, everywhere. We're all connected. We're Virgin Islanders. This morning, I just wanted to, I had a experience that I don't even know how to describe. I actually traveled to Miami to attend the funeral service. It was 2 days. You had to wake the one day, and Friday, and then Saturday was the actual funeral for Maya Marcano. And that young lady was just full of life. And I don't even know what to say. I mean, it could have been any one of our children, any one of our daughters. And in the process, it's a son been lost and a daughter been lost, but many will not empathize with that man and that young man and what he did. And it was so tragic. And just sitting there and observing the family and observing just the number of people that came in there, because there was so many people attending that funeral service that, she was obviously loved. And, she was just so full of life, 19 years of age. And I just can't even relate to it. What the family is going through, the heartache, the pain, the suffering. And I just wanted to encourage many of you Virgin Islanders that know the Scabriel family. Marcano, I believe, is from Trinidad. But, to extend condolences to that family. And I just wanted to extend condolences again, because I can't begin to imagine, because I've not lived the experience. But just to see just everything that was there, it was just heart-wrenching. And it's just one of those situations that it's very difficult to relate to. It was a sad situation, and I can't emphasize it enough. But there is a website that you can go to that is, I think it's Maya Marcano Foundation, where you can go there and you could find the booklet. And within the booklet, you'll just see all the different pictures. She enjoyed Carnival. And like I said, she was so full of life. You could just see from the videos how she was engaging with family. And I'm spending a lot of time here this morning with this because I have daughters. And no one would like to see their daughters fall in such a predicament. And, I could only say to parents, especially fathers, pay close attention to who your daughters are interacting with. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't mind your business. That is your business. So you got to mind that business, because that experience, and just to hear the story, read the reports and everything, was just so heart-wrenching. And I wanted to share this morning, and just 1 minute as some silence, I wanted to share with you guys just what I actually experienced there, and just to see how it was so well attended. And it was good to see that it was so well attended by so many people. I ain't been able to pull it up, but that's okay. But this morning, I condolences again to that family, and maybe later on I'll share with you what my experience was and what I shared, what I saw there. Moving along, I saw in the newspaper that there was a drug bust in Haven site. And, I was easily navigated, and I remembered that there was an article, or not an article, somebody posted a video where the governor had made some infamous comment about having cameras here, and the cameras will pick up everything. But I'm going to pull that footage to see if I can get it, just to hear exactly what was said. And I I can't say enough for those of you that know me personally that I had a little grandbaby. And of course, my daughter is still upset with me because I did something that I was not supposed to do, but you always apologize, and I hope my apology is accepted. But I have a beautiful little granddaughter that, and you know the interesting part of it, folks, that I wanted to share with you. My granddaughter's name is Maya, and Maya Marcano, of course, her name is Maya, 19 years of age. A grandbaby just came into this world, and I attended this thing for this young lady that we lost. And it was so tragic that I can't begin to tell you how emotional it was, not just for myself. And bear in mind, I was just an observer, but just went to pay my respect because of the grandmother that I happen to know, Letty, and of course, rest his soul, Bob, and you know, Joanna, the aunt, so you know, Sony, I know all of them. But just to, you know, that it's still stuck with me, and it's still with me right now that I can't shake it. But you know, a new life into the world, but a valuable life lost. It's just not something that you can deal with. Moving along, the politics in the Virgin Islands. I know those of you who have WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a good thing, and it's a very dangerous thing. Let me tell you why. It's dangerous because people can slander people's name in there. People can put out there anything that they want to put out that is not factual. But at the same time, yes, we understand that it's a source of information or information sharing, but we got to be careful with what we're sharing. You know, when I just mentioned politics and the slandering of people that already started. I see they posted a picture of a former senator and some story that took place years ago. And I said the politics have started because Virgin Islanders, you know how nasty politics have gotten in the Virgin Islands. That the minute it's mentioned that you plan to run for office, depending on who is in office, depending on the persons involved in the politics, you can anticipate dirt, you can anticipate slander, I mean, you name it. And they will put it out there just to destroy people's credibility. And it's amazing just how, you know, this goes on here in the U.S. Virgin Islands when years back, I mean, it has existed to a certain level. But I think it has taken on a whole totally new life. The politics here in the Virgin Islands, and it's a shame what it's getting to, and it's a shame how these things surface just when it's speculated that certain individuals may avail themselves to run for higher office. But you know, while we're talking about politics and running for office, we got to hold those in office responsible. And when I say responsible, the topic that we're going to discuss this morning has to do with the cost of living in the Virgin Islands. The cost of living in the Virgin Islands, we know, it's gone up in proportions. And when I say it's gone up in proportions, it's gone up in increments that probably exceeding wages. And exceeding the wages probably by far. You know, but it's just amazing how persons feel just uncomfortable with doing some of the stuff that they're doing. But, you know, we leave the politics and push the politics aside and start talking about the quality of life in the Virgin Islands. Now, what contributes to the quality of life in the Virgin Islands? We're talking about the cost of living. That cost of living is inclusive of light bills, groceries, health care, miscellaneous costs. And when I say miscellaneous costs, we're talking about miscellaneous costs such as education, should folks choose to, put their children in private schools. You got to pay for education, but there's so much cost around here. Cost for gas, cost for groceries, cost for everything you could think of has gone up in increments. But let me go to the telephone lines because I promised that I would go to the telephone lines relatively early this morning. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, Senator, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good, long time I haven't called you.
I know I haven't heard from you in quite some time.
Yeah, man, I busy all about. You're talking about the cost of stuff going up. And of course, you remember years ago, they used to say if the United States sneeze, win a Virgin Islands, catch a cold, it's not that any longer. What we do is we catch pneumonia and die.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the situation. I mean, I've been in the car business from 1962, and you find that with no, I mean, it's so foolish. The cost of new vehicles has gone up 30%. Why? Now, tell me this is not by design. Because they don't have enough, I don't know what the devil thing name again, for the lack of a better word. Let's say a diode or a switch. But that's not the right thing. But some part that they need, they haven't manufactured enough of those. Simply manufacture them. If you know you building 300,000 vehicles, you won't only make 50,000 of the thing that they need. Come on. So that's one of the costs. The other cost with food, and in the Virgin Islands, it's going to be worse because stateside it's 20% gone up because of millions of ship out in the ocean just park up there and they can't get the food to the shelves.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I keep hearing this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a situation where they can't find enough truckers. I mean, with this COVID thing, people are quitting jobs. They don't want to be exposed. In the schools, there's not enough bus drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's madness, So, of course, if it's gone up 20% on the mainland, you know how much percent it will go up in the Virgin Islands?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're so right. It won't go up higher than the cost of your wages.
And that's
how could that be?
And that's why I'm having the discussion this morning, because I'm trying to alert folks here in the Virgin Islands what to anticipate in the near future. It's not going to be in the long term or down the road. It's coming relatively soon. And if we're not prepared, for it, it's going to be a significant burden on a lot of Virgin Islanders, especially those with fixed incomes.
Of course, once you're not much, I'm not much older than you, but I'm sure you remember the term our elders used to use. It's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. But let me just give a condolence to Four-Star General Colin Powell. He passed away.
Yeah, after I announced about Maya Marcano, I just heard about Colin Powell.
Yes, a four-star general, first black joint chiefs of staff. I mean, they wanted him to run for president. He never did. And guess what? He died of complications of COVID, even though what? He was fully
vaccinated. No, that's alarming. That's alarming. All right. But if I may,
Go ahead.
If I may just add to the discussion, because I've been following all the different variants that you have out there. They have the Mu, they have the Delta. The Delta is the one on high alert. And you don't know how many others, because I understand that there's another one that have started somewhere in India. I'm not sure if it's India, but somewhere. And they say that this one is more volatile.
Yes, but let me tell you something. That again, this is elderly, going back to our elders, our black people elders, as well as biblical. You do not call these things on yourself. Some people want to know the name of it. It's this, it's Delta, it's Relta, it's Helta. Nonsense. Just leave it alone. Stop calling it on yourself. Push it away from you. Denounce it. And that's the spiritual side of it. So if those are not spiritually, well then, let's go out and face the world. You're going open and blind against the world.
Yeah.
You know, Ras Bobby and fellows like that, you know what they would tell you all the time? Do not worry about these people, what they're doing. They out to make money. It's like war and COVID and pandemics are money-making venture. Just keep your immune system healthy. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Listen.
Good advice. Good
Okay.
advice. Thanks for calling.
Right. Okay. Bye.
Yes, folks. As the caller indicated, that to build your immune system and keep your immune system up, that is perhaps the first course of action. And of course, I'll get in and talk a little bit about being vaccinated and not vaccinated, and actually trying to remove people's choice. Good morning. You on the air? Connect the dot.
Good morning, Fancy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I good. Listen, I just have some concerns and a statement. In reference to that WhatsApp thing that you talked about,
Yeah.
and from now, and every social media, when it first starts, it's a good thing. And the next thing, people using it to do all kind of craziness. Since the issue with Miss Marcano, and from before, I always try to tell my children them, everything you do, everything you feel, you need to go up on Facebook and do this. And you got oversharing going on in this place when it comes to social media. Any and everything they go up on these websites and they talk about. You could always tell when somebody good today and bad tomorrow, when somebody in a relationship today and in it tomorrow. Everything. You go on vacation, you have that. You understand? You set up yourself for people who monitoring you to realize what your lifestyle is like and what you're doing. And you could put yourself in harm's way because of all of the stuff that you share it. Okay, so that was just a piggyback on what you said.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring two concerns I have. With this Miami Carnival was just gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of our people them went there. Fancy, I see enough video where the majority of them people wasn't wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And I think somebody told me, I thought that it was still in effect, but I think somebody told me it's not, where the governor had first said that even though if you're vaccinated, when you're coming back in, you need to take a test. I understand that is no more. Now, if the vaccinated is among the unvaccinated, they need to take tests coming back in here, because you never know who have what. So for you to be fully vaccinated and could just travel at will because you're vaccinated, and now we know that the vaccinated can spread this thing as well. If you have people going among the unvaccinated, then we still running a risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you need to rethink that particular thing and have them vaccinated. And again, that's that and all in 100% because you needed 5 days in to come in. So of course you could take a test 5 days ago and be good and reach to St. Damas and get sick and be sick. So we all over the place with this thing.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, for me, I think what we need to mandate, instead of pushing this vaccine on people's throats, I think they need to mandate the mask. I just read an article that Spashi sent out here after I read the thing with Colin Powell, which is, that is such a concern. But nonetheless, he is now saying that you could mix and match with these boosters, especially if you only had the Johnson & Johnson. You understand? At first they were saying, no, you couldn't do it. Now, okay, then we look into this and see this is what we could do. But at the same time, to me, they're pushing certain things out there without really looking at it to see if it's workable or not. And to end this, I had a girlfriend the other day call me in tears because her son had just finished taking his second shot and he started to feel sick. He went to the emergency room 3 times. When it was an acid reflux, it was something. He ended up going the 3rd time, met a doctor. Mm-hmm. And when the doctor did the same test him again, he came back and he said, look, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm going to be out there. I don't want you to be afraid, but this is what's going on. There is something called myocarditis. And it's seen in teens and young adults after they take the test, after they take the vaccine, but it's prevalent in young males. And it's basically like a heart inflammation, and it got your heart palpitating and all kind of thing. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our son had. And he is fully vaccinated. Okay? But these different things are coming about now, and it's a lot of things is coming out. And I agree with the young man that was just on the phone. You know, on a spiritual perspective, from before this pandemic, I always tell my children, don't put anything into the spirit realm. You talk about it, you pray about it, and you leave it where it is. Because whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, anybody could get this virus. And I truly feel that the vaccination is effective. However, you still have a percentage of people that can die from this thing. We might say, oh, it's only 1%. Out of 100,000 people, you might have 10,000 that die from it. You understand? So I think I hear it as an argument now too. You know, but, and then, yeah, it's just all over the place. But I just wanted to call in with those real things.
Yeah.
You have a blessed one and continue to do what you do. I love you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You have a wonderful day. Thanks for your contribution. Yeah, people are concerned. People are concerned about a lot of the different things. And, you know, talking about the vaccination, I want to get back to the topic shortly, which is what is the Virgin Islands quality of life? These vaccinations, I'm more concerned about how fast they came about. And now how fast a booster came about that you could mix a booster with any other initial vaccination that you would have gotten. That's kind of concerning. And this thing with Colin Powell is concerning as well. But we're discussing this morning, and I just want to elaborate a little bit more on talking about, has healthcare improved over the past 4 years? Has education improved over the past 4 years? What about the cost of grocery in the VI? Should Virgin Islanders be concerned about the quality of life? Of course, they should be concerned about the quality of life. Has our electrical rates improved, meaning has been reduced in the last or the past 4 years? Are Virgin Islanders being displaced as a result of the cost of living? Is the government addressing the cost of living? Are Virgin Islanders relocated as a result of the cost of living? Let me go to the phones. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yes. I want to produce what we consume, or consume what we produce, and we have to import 95% of food, appliances, and all this type of thing because of living got higher.
Yeah.
You know, that's the history that we saw there. And seriously, as a territory, once we don't produce what we consume and consume what we produce, the cost of living in a capitalist society, you must make up the bottom line of being making money, you know. So prices going up each and every year, and people must pay attention to what's going on globally. The supply chain, there's a crisis in article, documentary show you, there's a crisis going on in the supply chain. In other words, those things, you're getting the food, the appliances, cars, having problems.
Yeah.
International shipping, and shipping costs is going up again. And we don't forget, we're just shipping everything. So that's going up.
Yeah.
And when you go to the food, the appliances, Home Depot, whatever business you see price slowly and surely going up. And some of the things that you usually buy, you don't see for months. I'm noticing that, you know what I mean? Some things that you buy, the store don't have it. You gotta wait until the shipping comes in and so forth, container hold up in some port, you know? Yeah, so, and then you gotta wait up, you get slow going on, and like you say, put in something to mitigate this problem that we face. And we the prices for that, a lot of us want to go state and things, you know what I mean? But a lot of us don't want to get right there. So we gotta start thinking about how we can produce things, whether we can, you know?
Yeah.
To live, and so we can't be dependent on buying stuff from the outside. The cost of living more, it's not about it.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I say about the vaccine, to me, everyone, when you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you both vaccinated and unvaccinated will catch it, or spread it, whatever.
Yeah.
So, everyone should be tested, vaccinated and unvaccinated. That's the one that should be mandated to me. You know, of course, wearing the mask and things, but testing both the vaccinated and unvaccinated
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your contribution, okay? Yeah, there's people that are vaccinated still catching the vaccine. Still catching the virus. There's COVID. And they should be alarmed, especially listening to the fact that Colin Powell died as a result of complications because he contracted the COVID. And I'm sure that he was exercising all the precautionary measures that they've promoted for the last 2 years, going on 2 years now. And, I myself, every time I get on the airline, on an airplane, I wear in my mask. I don't take my mask off at no time. Of course, it's a struggle at times to get proper oxygen into your body, which I would just take the time when I'm cleared and there's not too many people around that I could, slightly take the mask down just to get some air, full oxygen into the body. Folks, let me shift back over now to the cost of living in the Virgin Islands. And there's one particular area that I am very concerned about, and that is the number of Virgin Islanders leaving the territory as a result of the cost of living. Because you see, what a lot of folks, especially younger people, are focusing on is that when you're looking for job opportunities and you're looking for places to live, and you start to get involved in making comparisons between different places and the cost of living, and you look at grocery prices here in the Virgin Islands, for example, and even electrical rates, and you compare it to places like in Florida, I believe it's about, I'm not sure and I don't want to be misquoted here, but I believe it's around 9 to 13 cents a kilowatt hour. Here in the Virgin Islands is about the average of 42, 43. And then when you go to the stores and you look at the grocery prices, it gets kind of discouraging when they revisit or they come back home to the Virgin Islands. And I'm telling you, because I'll be honest enough to tell you I lived the experience. But the Virgin Islands is my home. And by virtue of the definition, and the definition of the cost of living is the average cost of all basic necessities, including food, housing, utilities, transportation, clothing and healthcare expenses, miscellaneous. An example of the cost of living is the amount of money it would cost to have a minimum standard of living in a particular place, particular city, particular state. But that comparison, I'm sorry I just missed the call, but that comparison will be made by people that go to the United States and just decide that they want to make a comparison to see what the cost of living is in other places versus the U.S. Virgin Islands. And the higher the index number, the greater the cost of living. But let me go to the telephone line and I'll finish up that thought later on. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Whilst you're talking about cost of living, you think it's right that St. Thomas, I'm a senior, keep sending my tax to IRS? For years, it's almost 3 years, IRS have 17 and 18, my incoming from disability, and wouldn't send it. To 17 and 18. And they send 19 and they send 19 back. But they never send 17 and 18. And you can't even get to talk to them. You call, they won't answer the phone. I need help to get my tax return for 17 and 18 from IRS. I never filed tax there. Why do they have my tax there and won't send it?
Mm-hmm.
Why St. Thomas sending my tax there?
Well, I know I can collaborate what you're saying. I can comprehend what you're saying when you call IRS. And I'm not talking about IRB locally, IRS. When you call an IRS, and let me tell you my experience. I called IRS in the States, that 800 number that ends with 1040. And I was on the phone waiting an average of an hour and 48 minutes. And I'm talking about 7 times I called. And I had to be waiting for a long time. You know when they eventually answered the phone or a rep came on? When I was waiting 2 hours and 32 minutes. Can you imagine that? So I sympathize with what you're saying, and you're absolutely correct.
And nobody to help us. Could you give me that same number where you call with the 10? Because I think I call in the wrong number. I swear. I just want to be on the right base.
Okay. If you could call me off the air, call after I get off the program. Just call back, and I'll give you the number.
Oh, I don't know if I'll get you.
No, you'll get through because I won't be on the air anymore. The program will be over.
Okay. But in case I don't get you before you leave, just give the number and I'll listen.
Okay.
I listen to your show. I'll listen.
I'll give it to the receptionist here so she could provide you with that number.
But Senator, we need our senators to help us seniors because it's a lot of problem we have and nobody to help us. And we coming out there and vote for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a nice day. You know, I said years ago that we needed to see if IRS could create a special line for elderly people that can call them because they can easily verify if the person is an elderly person after the request verification to include social security number and all the information that you have to provide them over the phone for them to confirm you are who you say you are. You know, but let's hope that the system can change. And I know during this COVID crisis, this pandemic, there are situations where a lot of agencies are understaffed because if employees didn't get sick, people are resigning from jobs because of the mandate, the vaccination mandate. They're just resigning from the job and seeking employment elsewhere. And you know, one of the previous callers spoke about a Miami Carnival and how folks were just going around. It's the entire state of Florida. Ain't just the Miami Carnival, the entire state of Florida. Folks now are getting very lax and not following the precautionary measures. And it may very well be based on what the governor have repeatedly said, the governor of that state, where he speaks about there's going to be no, mass mandate and it goes into all types of different things. And I think that the numbers, however, if I may share this with you, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers went down in Florida, which is astonishing. But it is what it is, and we can only hope that folks take the precautionary measures, even those that are vaccinated. And I just jumping over to something else here, and then I'll come back to the subject. Kyrie Irving, if any of you follow sports, Kyrie Irving, one of the revered pro basketball players in the NBA for the Brooklyn Nets. And he decided that he was not going to take the vaccine. And of course, the team executive management decided that he would not be playing and may only be able to play in the states where there is no mandate with vaccination. But I'm kind of perplexed by that. It's either the team have a policy or they don't have a policy. And in addition to that, one of the things that we gotta be careful with, because it's going to eventually be challenged in the Supreme Court, and that is mandatory vaccinations. I'm not sure how you can position yourself, because I've been vaccinated, and I've said that repeatedly here on the radio. I've been vaccinated. And the one thing that I exercised was my choice to be vaccinated or not vaccinated. How do I now advocate removing a person's choice to not be vaccinated at this point? Because it's your body, and certainly it's your gamble with a chance. And look at what's happening. Even those vaccinated now getting sick, or they're still contracting, whether it's a variant or the COVID itself, a variant of the COVID, and they're falling extremely ill, and in some cases have died. Colin Powell is a perfect example, and this is fresh on the minds of every American. And all of you know who Colin Powell is. But going back to this thing about mandate, we got to be careful with it. We got to be really, really careful with it. And what is even more alarming is that the pharmaceutical companies are not held liable at all should anything happen. You can't go back and file a claim for any assistance, even if it provided a terminal illness or long-term illness, or magnified some little pre-existing conditions that you had. You can't go back and sue the pharmaceutical companies, and that's kind of scary. But we're discussing this morning the issue of the quality of life in the Virgin Islands. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning. You were talking about Colin Powell. Well, you failed to mention the fact that he had a depressed immune system.
Yeah.
His immune system was severely compromised. He had some form of blood cancer, so that played a role also.
Okay.
Something called multiple myeloma.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for the clarification and adding to the discussion. Thank you. Well, and Colin Powell had pre-existing conditions, but decided to get vaccinated. Of course, he exercised his choice at the time, because I don't think that it was mandatory in any respect, and certainly not mandatory for him that was retired. He don't have to worry about employment or anything. He chose to take it. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Senator, we have to be able to understand that if we don't have our bodies in good condition, we allow those things will start happening to us with this COVID situation here.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you don't have your immune system cleansed, you are not going to, regardless to whether you take the injection or whether you don't take the injection.
Yeah.
Okay? That immune system must be cleansed. And if you have pre-existing problems, there is a possibility if you don't take that injection, you will get it faster, that COVID. Okay? And the meat that we're eating, we have to stop. When you get 50 years old, you ain't got no business eating that pork and all of that stuff there that they call meat coming from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we don't have the meat here anymore. We don't have those farms. So they're coming from all over the world. And when they're coming from all over the world like that, these animals are sick coming in. What they do when they get to these stores, they have a solution. They put it in to kill the stench. And then when they finish doing that, they paint them nice and pink, like they're fresh. Then they put them in a plastic and a stock a price on it, and we buy it. We cannot do that. If you have a pre-existing problem like your blood pressure and cholesterol, you're not supposed to be eating the chicken, because the chicken have the steroids, and that's getting in your blood system.
Yeah.
And you're going to the doctor. You're going straight to the doctor for it. And he's giving you more medicine to make it worse eventually. You have to cleanse your immune system. I want to talk to you. I'm going to call your mother, okay? And tell your mother tell you to call me. I've got something to tell you.
Okay. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay.
Okay, baby.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thanks for calling, okay?
Okay, honey.
Okay, bye-bye. It's all about the diet. But I mean, it's difficult for some of us. I love chicken. I eat chicken probably so much that I'm surprised I'm not flying. Because you know what they say, when you're eating so much chicken, be careful that you don't fly. But I understand exactly what the caller is saying in terms of having and maintaining healthy diets. And she mentioned my mother. My mother is 95 years old. She just made 95 September 16th. And she's been eating pork, eating practically everything, but also she relied on science. And this is where I have to admit, with science, her being able to have certain medication in place practically may have extended her life. But then the question is, if she had a different diet, maybe a lot of the illnesses wouldn't exist. But the formula that is used her at 95 years of age and a lot of her faculties still in place, is just truly amazing. And I'm sure it's amazing for those who interact with her. But I'll tell you, going back to the subject, my mother is concerned about the cost of living in the Virgin Islands as well. And, the cost of living, and let me make a correction, is September 14th is her birthday. But, going back to the cost of living in the Virgin Islands, when my mother, 95 years old, is complaining about WAPA rates and how high it is, and she's complaining about going to the store and seeing the price of oxtail, all these things contribute to the cost of living. And if the cost of living is exceeding wages being distributed, and people start to now sit down and start making these comparisons of how far their dollars could go, especially those on fixed incomes. You have a lot of retired people. I know retired firemen that relocated to the Dominican Republic because they felt that their income could go a lot farther in places like that. I know people that relocated all the way up to Orlando, Florida, where they feel that the cost of living was a lot lower and that their dollars can go a lot further. And this is going to start happening even more frequently with a lot of Virgin Islanders, where if they're afforded that opportunity to make a comparison, they're going to start making a comparison and feel that it's a better quality of life living elsewhere. And this is where all our politicians, elected leaders, need to start paying close attention to, because it's all contributing factors. If you can't get your WAPA rates down, if you can't get the price of food under control, if you can't provide relief to businesses, and I'm talking about that infamous gross receipt taxes, which is the most regressive tax, and change the structure, we're in for some hard times. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, morning, how you doing?
Not too bad. It's unbelievable, but yet it's a fact that the General Colonel Powell, he had to be exposed somewhat for that to happen.
Yeah.
And since you ever heard me talk about a protocol, the protocol that I speak about even before the vaccine came out, was something to monitor and even reduce the chance of exposure. But then again, who am I to say anything about something like that?
Yeah.
Only God knows. The powers that might be, or whoever the honorable, will listen to something like that. And again, you had people here who were there with the senator who went to this wherever he went to parties, or Senator Payne. The same protocol were being applied any and everywhere where there's gathering of people or enclosed building, and they will do the same thing. Now, you mentioned something about your topic today about cost of living.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity, I mean, in our area region, to do some kind of trading with, just like you mentioned, people with the Dominican Republic, probably other places where we could have certain products raised under the standard that you is acceptable, and they will be able to trade send their thing to our various islands for markets, and that could have maybe even done something for all of us in the region. But I don't know, there might be a lot of things involved and complications, that going to prevent such a free associate, such a thing to happen.
Yeah.
Because I know if you produce your own and you could get things at a reasonable price, a lower price, you have to be able to save and retain some of your money that you don't have to buy things that gonna be so expensive. The lesser price for something, the more you save, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that could, a principle in economics.
Don't you think now, under the current circumstances, it is now that it should ignite a fire in the administration to support agriculture a lot more?
It could be, but I mean, if there is no fuel to burn the fire, and like you say, they have no interest. People talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Just like I tell you about I talk about the protocol. That doesn't ignite nobody to even reach out to find out about it.
Yeah.
The man who came over here as an employee and called on the radio, the show said that he had stage 2 prostate cancer, and he saw somebody over here and they gave him some natural thing to that even baffled the doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
And the man is like cancer free. That didn't ignite anybody the same way to go and make sure we have that recorded and to make sure that there's a chance to go deep into the natural medicine and see how they could help people. See what I'm saying?
Well, the last person I know that was into the natural cures, you remember the gentleman name, was it Sebi? Dr. Sebi?
Dr. Sebi.
Yes, Sebi.
West Bobby, I don't work under the man.
Yeah.
And here it is. There's so many different cures for things that affect people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody even giving the man a chance or being exposed to knowing about these things.
Well,
even the COVID.
Yeah, you need to get those things patented. Well, not only patented, but I mean registered with the FDA, and then you have to get doctors who would qualify and quantify that it can be a cure. And you never know. Ras Bobby might be onto something. You just never know. He just has to be introduced to the right people.
Senator Davis, when you talk about the right people and all of that, there's a group of people going to make sure something like that don't happen. Because if you could hear that people, I mean, even stories, whether it's true or false, yes, no, maybe so, that we could find out about it, but they don't want to find out about it.
Yeah.
A man eating pineapple for 6 months and some cancer that he had gone. And nobody even trying to find out, hey, Is this true? Yes, no, maybe so. We got the data, the record. This happened. That tells you something.
Yeah.
Probably
the medications and the cure is industry, pharmaceutical industries make billions of dollars. You know, the pharmaceutical industry just have all these different products, all these different type of treatments and stuff like that. So I understand, and it's just in support of what you're saying. They will not want to see that there's a natural cure because somebody going to lose billions of dollars.
I've heard even things like the AIDS virus. There is somebody somewhere that cured from it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's where the human race is concerned, anything that could but is a threat to us, our survival, we gotta find. It's good for us to know that we at least attempt to try or learn about it, because if whatever threat to our survival as human beings, we want to find a way to either limit or stop it.
Yeah,
that we could survive.
Well, you know, inclusive, and just to add to what you're saying, inclusive of the cost of living. One of the indicators is your cost for healthcare. You know, and the cost for healthcare, we could only hope that with any effective wellness program that you should start creating, not just in government departments and agencies, but also in the private sector. You know, these big businesses can in fact create the wellness programs where it would actually teach people how to embrace healthy diets, what it consists of, and that is preventative measures. You know, so that I understand clearly what you're saying.
And I would believe that majority of them, either they will be paid off, or they will have restriction, or they would not do it. Sorry to sound pessimistic, but you got to deal with reality of how human nature and human being think. Even the COVID, they've learned that there is things that people have done to fight back and battle this thing. I don't know how true it is, but somebody told me a man went to a hospital over here. He had COVID. He went home. He must be take something with moringa and some other thing, bush milk, stuff, and the man ain't had COVID again.
Wow.
So I'm saying again, if that was so, and such a thing is important, why the honorables, whoever they are, the people, the leadership, not even going to find out, say, was this so true or false? At least, even if they don't want to implement it, they have some kind of information, you know, that this thing happened, this work. Sometime later on, when they feel like telling people they could do that, but at least we have knowledge or record of something that happened, something that worked. You see? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well.
So thank you very much for your time.
And thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. You know, while we're discussing the cost of living in the Virgin Islands, and of course the caller, you know, people are free to navigate to whatever they feel is of relevance. And I feel that healthcare is relevant because that actually is part of the cost of living. And there's a question that just popped up in my mind. And that question is, the Department of Health was instructing people that who suspected that they had COVID. You're telling people to quarantine. And of course, the more severe cases go to the hospital. But the public announcement was discouraging people from going to the hospital. So I'm wondering, in terms of the cost of the health care to be treated for COVID, is the individuals bearing the total cost, or the federal government provided resources to be able to assume part of the cost or most of the cost? And that's a question I think one of the administrators in Department of Health could help to clear up for me so I can understand, because then on the flip side of the coin, I'm wondering if they were detouring people from going to the hospital to get health care because they didn't want the institution to be burdened with the cost to provide services to the individuals that will eventually rack up. So it's there's a lot of contributing factors to the cost of living, and I think that we need to start paying close attention. And if it didn't raise the red flag about agriculture, because if we're having difficulty bringing a lot of items into the Virgin Islands for consumption, what happens if there is really a shortage here in the Virgin Islands or in the supply to the Virgin Islands? How do we subsidize or augment that shortage? How do we survive on the essentials that we normally survive on? So I think that this is worth having some extensive discussions on, and we need to start paying close attention to this stuff. And going back, I did say that I would finish the thought on the higher the index number. Folks, the higher the index number, the greater the cost of living. This allows for, state-to-state comparisons. Income needs to be higher when cost of living is higher. That's a fact. In order to cope with the circumstances. But higher incomes also tend to yield higher cost of living because incomes are a business expense. Let me go to the lines. Good morning, you on the air?
Yeah, good morning again.
Yeah, morning.
Look, to reduce the cost of living, we have to produce certain things that we can, and that we cannot import. That's you could always increase salary, income and salary, right? But once we produce things for ourselves, certain things, I don't think we don't go everything or produce everything, but whatever we could produce that will meet our basic needs, that's the priority to me. Yeah. You need to go from the inside out of my head also. You need to go from the inside out, and we got to start producing certain things to me. And then the other thing in terms of reducing health costs, right? The whole time saying ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, right?
Yeah.
We need to see a comprehensive health, wellness, and fitness protocol, program, whether promoted by the government, the school, the Department of Health. That's the key to reducing health costs. But one key, not the only key, one key. That our people change their lifestyle, eat properly, exercise, use the environment in which we have the sun and the sea, and other stuff to keep our body fit,
Yeah.
And to me, that's one of the to reducing healthcare, health and wellness and fitness,
Yeah, yeah.
And do the best help. But the name of the person you're talking about is Sebi. I'm heard of him. I met him one time. Yeah. The person who used to deal with that, he was Sebi.
Okay. And he mysteriously died. And I said mysteriously, they claim...
there's a whole thing with that one. I guess later on, the truth shall be revealed, that whether it was killed or, or so forth. So I can't comment on that until we get more evidence and so forth, to see what really happened to him. Okay?
Well, thanks for calling.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many contributing factors. I said, a lady asked me, because I had put a promotion out on, I think, social media, and she approached me and at the airport and actually asked me, when I say cost of living, the quality of life, and, the cost of living here in the Virgin Islands, I explained to her that, the question is, what is the cost of living? The cost of living is the amount of money needed to cover basic expenses such as housing, food, taxes, and healthcare in certain place and time period. The cost of living is often used to compare how expensive it is to live in one city versus the next. That's inclusive of the territories. And the cost of living is tied to wages. If expenses are higher in a city, such as New York, for example. Salary levels must be higher so that people can afford to live in that city. So when they start making a comparison, people are looking for places where their dollars can be stretched a lot more. And if we don't get a handle of this in the U.S. Virgin Islands, we're going to totally destroy or eliminate a middle class if it hasn't been eliminated already. But there will only be two classes, upper class and lower class. And that, my friends, is a dangerous, dangerous climate to have. Squeezing one into the next. This is the last call I'll entertain because the DJ and engineer is telling me my time is up. One more call. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning, Fonz.
Yes, good morning. Here we go.
Okay, I was calling based on the discussion that you had a little earlier before you was talking about the agriculture situation. I have a book here by Al Sharpton. Also, I have a book by Muhammad Ali.
Okay, yeah.
And a book by Barack Obama. And a book by Michelle Obama. I find here in this book an immoral man in a changing world. Trump, longtime buddy and former head of Fox News, Roger Ailes. And that is where we've been getting a lot of confusion. If you notice, when you watch TV and Fox News, you had a guy at Hannity when Barack was president of the United States, there was always a lot of negativeness going on.
Yeah.
Here now you have where Donald Trump didn't get the presidential nomination, but here a woman of color got the presidential nomination. Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The first Attorney General for California, a woman of color, and the first Senator of California, a woman of color. So if I didn't get this book, for a long time I used to try to pinpoint where Donald Trump was, keep hitting and hammering. Don't forget Stacey is our delegate. She was one of the managers against those who break into the Capitol building. Okay? And I find that this is very annoying because, number one, here it is, they're using the vaccination to make it so difficult that when another black person is running with a white person, they ain't going to want to vote for them.
But Rego, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm out of time.
I do apologize.
I took the last call, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. As you know, I'm on every Monday morning from 10 to 11, so you could always, extend this discussion. The lines will be open to you next Monday again.
Thank you. I do appreciate it, and I apologize.
Yeah. That's no problem, man. No problem. You have a wonderful day.
Okay.
So, folks, I'm at the end of the hour. I'm sorry it's only an hour. That's what I pay for. My sponsors pay for. I might mention sponsors, your First Stop gas station, Catch of the Day, Fine Print Consulting Services, main sponsors of this program, and the Meetup, of course, located there in Lockwood, right next to the movie theater, Caribbean Cinemas in Tutu, in Anna's Retreat or in the country. But we're down to the end of the hour, and I just wanted to wish each and every one of you productive Monday, but also a productive week for each and every one of you. And I'll be back here next Monday again, having another discussion. And of course, as usual, I circulate what the topic is going to be. And even for those of you abroad, feel welcome to call into the radio station and express your views, because I know Virgin Islander here, there, everywhere are Virgin Islanders, and we love to hear from you. So until next Monday, this has been Adla Fonsi Donestog here with you this Monday morning on Connect the Dots from 10 to 11 a.m. every Monday morning. Have a wonderful week.
Please log in to your mobile phone, television, computer for live streaming or your nearest radio. It's now time to listen to Connecting the Dots.
People come, let we go. Turn up the radio.